Yeah, I mean, it's so warm outside right now. It really does feel comfortable. And I think it's so nice, too, because we don't have the wind. There's not like this weird X factor that makes it feel worse, which I usually have something like that to tell you about, and there's nothing like that today. We do, however, eventually have changing conditions, and there is a pattern change with more unsettled weather eventually reaching us here as early as tomorrow afternoon, but especially tomorrow night. But for now, you're just sitting pretty. So let's take you outside. I want to show you what's happening on Storm Scan, and well, as you might imagine, there's not really a heck of a lot. We did have, or we still have, a very weak frontal boundary making its full cross, and as that happens, some cooler air is going to start to nudge in. It was a pretty weak front, or it is a pretty weak front, so it's not really going to do much in terms of precipitation. It does have a little bit of cloud cover overhead right now, but we end up more than anything with just some cooler conditions in its wake. So let's walk into this pattern change where things take more of an unsettled turn, and that happens again tomorrow afternoon leading into tomorrow night, most specifically. So you're going to end up primarily with rain. It looks like there could be a little bit of wintry mixing up in the Poconos, but most of us are just too warm at this point to see anything but plain old rain, and that would be late day tomorrow, throughout a good chunk of Thursday as well, but there will be breaks as well, and then even into Friday. There may be some morning rainfall as well as this cold front is still trying to cross through. So I can show you in a little bit more detail, more fine-tuned model output for this. And this is 4 p.m. tomorrow, at which point central PA is getting hit with that rain, and it should move into our area, closing in on a nightfall here. And you can see what happens as some cooler air is in place. We'll have a little bit of mixing go on, but very, very far north, so that should not be an issue for the city, let alone just the immediate vicinity. But this is going to be a pretty decent rainfall, relatively widespread, comes through relatively in pockets as well, but it could be locally drenching at times. Now, this is into Thursday morning. You'll see pretty heavy batch up here for the morning commute, and there will be breaks along the way, as we mentioned, as you can see here, but it's a day that I keep an umbrella on hand. In the meantime, let's take you out to the current here and now condition. It looks awesome outside. A little family here making what looks like a little sandcastle there. Oh, so cute. But there are a lot of people here on the boardwalk. If you look really closely, like little ants walking up and down the boardwalk here. There's lots of people out. Understandably, it's so pleasant and comfortable. You do still need to have at least an extra layer, I would say, you know, sweatshirt or fleece, but it feels good with our temperature change in the last 24 hours, well into the teens. Interestingly, Mount Pocono is now seeing a little bit of a deficit. You were so warm this morning, now starting to level off a little bit, but Dover 17 degrees milder, 6 degrees milder in Philly. As that translates to the thermometer, it's 58 right now. But again, we're still expecting these daytime highs to continue to climb here. So low 60s already up in the Atlantic City area. We should hit the low 60s here in the city before it's all said and done. And that wind flow is turning a little bit more northerly as the day progresses. So are we going to hit any records today? Very likely not. You know, the record to beat is 69 degrees. So it's obviously a testament to the fact that it's not unheard of for us to reach these levels here at this time of year. But our forecasted high temp is still 61 degrees. So handful of degrees shy, certainly still well above average no matter how you slice it. Later on tonight, yeah, it'll be chilly down to 32 degrees, but normal low is 26. So we're still doing pretty good here. And the sun does set at 5:25 this evening. Now, as we look forward in the 7-day forecast, you're going to see an ebb and flow take place here. As we mentioned, there is some cooler air coming along. Next round of wet weather comes along as well. We sit in the warm sector of this next system through Thursday and into the early hours of Friday before the cold front crosses. So we'll still have a chance to climb to 60 on Friday before that colder air wraps in. And as it does so, the temperatures do start to take a pretty solid hit here. So Saturday and Sunday time frame, we're not breaking out of the 30s as it stands right now. Pretty brisk Saturday forecast, but at least you'll have some sunshine throughout the weekend. And then it looks basically just seasonable heading into work and school on Monday. With some sunshine, we'll be up to 41. And that is, again, really the one and only average day of this forecast.
Just make sure to enjoy
I've
today,
always said you're above
Yes.
average, Katie.
Well, thank
So
you.
just want to make sure that's clear. Well,